How did decolonization impact national identity globally? Imagine a world where countries once under colonial rule suddenly stand on their own, shaping their future based on their own stories. That's what decolonization brought to the global stage. When European powers ended their control over territories in Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, and the Pacific, it was more than just changing borders. It was a shift in how nations saw themselves and their place in the world. Decolonization allowed people to reclaim their cultural roots and histories that colonial rulers had often ignored or erased. Many nations started to reject Western narratives that had marginalized indigenous cultures. Instead, they focused on reviving languages, traditions, and stories that had been suppressed. This effort helped people feel pride in their identity and history. Building new national identities was not simple. Countries had to find ways to unite diverse groups with different languages, religions, and ethnic backgrounds. Leaders often looked back to pre-colonial histories or anti-colonial struggles to create a sense of shared purpose. For example, many African nations emphasized their ancient kingdoms and resistance movements to foster unity. However, the process was filled with challenges. Colonial borders often divided ethnic groups or combined groups with little in common. Leaders had to find ways to include everyone in the new national identity, which sometimes led to conflicts. Colonial administrative systems also influenced how new governments operated, shaping their political identities. Decolonization also sparked a sense of global solidarity among newly independent nations. Events like the Bandung Conference in 1955 brought together leaders from Asia and Africa to promote unity and resist neo-colonial influence. This created a shared identity based on independence, sovereignty, and the desire for self-determination. Even after gaining independence, many countries still face struggles. Colonial legacies like racial hierarchies, language dominance, and cultural marginalization persisted. Societies had to work hard to overcome these issues and build a sense of authentic identity. Literature, art, and cultural movements played a big role in this. Writers and artists challenged colonial stereotypes and explored what it meant to be post-colonial. Decolonization also changed international relations. Newly independent nations brought new voices to global discussions. They challenged old power structures and pushed for respect and recognition on the world stage. This shift influenced alliances, political ideologies, and how countries interacted with each other. Overall, decolonization was a turning point that transformed how nations and people saw themselves. It was not just about ending colonial rule but about creating new identities rooted in history, culture, and sovereignty. The effects of this process still shape global conflicts, politics, and cultural expressions today.